Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I know some of you guys have put yourself on mute already, but if you haven't done so, that will just kind of make sure that all the background noise is gone. So make sure that you have yourself on mute. If you're on a computer, it'll have a little thing at the bottom, and that'll just kind of help with being able to hear who's speaking and all that. Okay. So I see Caitlin Miller isn't on mute yet. So if you want to mute yours, that would be awesome. Okay. And our speakers, you guys can unmute whenever it's your turn here in a little bit to chat. Okay. So anyways, I have a couple of, well, not a couple, 3 new coaches that are going to chat. And I probably should have checked. I saw Caitlin and Cassidy. I think Morgan is on. Yay. Okay, there you go. You're waving. There we go. Okay, I probably should have done that before I started recording. But anyways, so I have these 3 coaches, and they're all fairly new in my standard. I feel like anybody that's in their first year of coaching is a new coach, because it literally probably took me a full year to figure a couple of things out. But anyways, I have kind of been watching them and really noticing that they are doing a couple of things really well. In particular, I feel like they have grown their team fairly quickly, or they have consistently been adding coaches, whether they be discount or regular coaches. They've all been kind of adding some coaches pretty regularly. So what I would like for us to do is we're going to have a kind of Q&A style. I'm going to ask them a couple of questions, let them introduce themselves. And then if you guys have questions, if you're like me, I'll probably forget a question. So if you want to put it in the chat below, we'll save them for the end, but you can go ahead and put them in the chat below. Make sure that you have some kind of writing utensil and a notepad so that you can take some notes. So anyways, I'm going to let them kind of introduce themselves first, and then we'll get into some questions. So if you want to talk just a little bit about who you are, kind of like what you do besides coaching, how long you've been coaching, and kind of why you got started, that would be awesome. So Cassidy, if you want to kind of kick us off on like who you are, when you got started coaching, and why you decided to get started, that would be awesome to get us started.
Hello, hi everyone. So my name is Cassidy, like Megan said, and I am a hairdresser. So I do hair and eyelash extensions and all the fun beauty stuff. So I'm in a salon surrounded by women every single day. So you can so much stuff I hear on a daily basis about women wanting to change their life or pretty much complaining about why they need to. So that is I kind of started coaching for a lot of reasons. One, I stalked Megan for like 3 years, literally since she started. And I have been like girl crush, jealous, envious the whole time. So I had been thinking about it anyways. And then I had a baby, I think like 3.5 months ago. Yeah, he'll be 4 months on the 20th. So when I had the baby, I felt this like huge hole basically, because I was a huge fitness person before the baby. And you know, when you don't have kids, you have lots of time, and my time went bye-bye. So I wanted to be a part of more. I wanted the accountability. I wanted the friendships, and to not feel like I was alone on like the journey, because where I'm from, there's not a lot of like, I'm not saying not a lot of fitnessy people, but there's not. So I just knew that I had to become a part of a team, like a huge freaking team that everyone is always on fire. And so, yeah, that's pretty much why I got started, just to become a part of something bigger than me and learn from everyone. So that's my little backstory. Yeah, I think I should just get started on answering my questions. Meg, is that what you would like?
Yeah, I might have the other 2 kind of introduce themselves, and then we'll get into questions. Do you remember when you signed up to coach?
Yes. So I started July 16th. Well, I signed up a couple days before then, but I didn't start like the programs until July 16th. So it was just her last Lift 4 boot camp. So I'll be starting my second round with my own group this Monday. So yeah, Lift 4 was like life changer. Everything about it was incredible. If you guys haven't done it, I recommend it.
For sure. Awesome. Thank you. So we'll come back to you here in a little bit. So Morgan, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I am Morgan Techmeyer. Let me start over. I am an IT recruiter, which basically means that I help people in the IT field find jobs. So opposite of Cassie, I am constantly talking to a lot of men, and specifically a lot of men of a lot of different cultures, let's put it that way. So I don't really have that opportunity at work necessarily. And a lot of people I work with, I've tried, they're not interested, they're work in progress. But I guess the reason I started was because my weight gain was getting out of control. I had been following Paige for 8 months, I think. It was officially 8 months when I ended up starting, is what I just found out this year. I realized it was in August, and I started in April. And I honestly just started coaching to hold myself accountable. I started doing the workouts on my own. I am a learning lesson from anyone who doesn't want to do a challenge pack, because I tried to do it on my own. I did the sign up, the free trial, and then I was trying it. I was wishy-washy with it because I didn't have the accountability. So I'm, living proof that says a lot, that the accountability is everything. And then Paige had a group coming up, and I was like, maybe I should just try it. Maybe I should do it. And I was like, I am already signed up. What should I do? How do I get you to be my coach? So I actually switched my account over for her to be my coach. And then I kind of started 2 weeks on my own. And then when she had her group coming up, she's like, and I decided to start my own fitness Instagram to hold myself accountable on my own without coaching. And she was like, you're already doing the coaching thing. It's the exact same thing. People are going to ask you what you're doing, and then you help them sign up and you get paid for it. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. So I started my Instagram from absolutely zero in April, and I've built it up a little. I mean, obviously not a significant amount, but I've built it up, and it's been a fun journey since then. So I guess I've also lost 28 pounds since April. And so that's kind of been a really big thing in my journey, is people have been able to literally see me go on the journey and lose the weight. And I know my journey is different from Paige, who is my coach, because she didn't have weight to lose, but just her consistently showing up for her workouts made me wonder what was different about it, because I didn't understand why she was doing these crazy workouts, because she was doing ADD obsession all the time. I was like, why is she torturing herself like that? I don't get it. So finally, I just jumped in, and it's helped me lose almost 30 pounds.
I love that. I love that you both talked about kind of following and like watching from behind the scenes for a while before you committed, because I feel like some people, especially new coaches, get really discouraged, in those first couple of months. Well, people are still figuring out, what in the world are you even doing, and so it takes a little bit of time. Okay, Caitlin, you're up. Why don't you share a little bit about yourself, please?
Okay, so I am Caitlin, and I am a physical therapist assistant for Jefferson City Public Schools. I work with mainly kindergartners, but anywhere from kindergarten, first, second, third, and fourth. I started coaching because in March, I got diagnosed with endometriosis. And I knew that, health and fitness, that sort of thing really helped with that stuff. But I really needed it a long time ago, honestly, because I was not a consistent person when it came to working out, eating healthy. I love to eat like trash. And I could not work out consistently to save my life. I wanted to be that person that enjoyed going to the gym, but it literally crippled me with anxiety. And I watched Courtney Hecker forever. I was like, oh my gosh, like I am obsessed with this girl. Like she shows up every single day. She's so busy, but she still makes time for herself. Like that is #goals. So I was like, I need to be like that. And she was so consistent with me because I was stubborn and I didn't want to do it, but I did it once. It was that month that I had to deal with all that stuff. I'm like, you know what? This is going to be good for me because, people say that stuff for a reason, that it helps. So surely it does. And it seriously has helped so much. Shakeology has been my lifesaver. I was so exhausted. I could not go through a day without having to nap. Like with endo, it also comes with like the extreme fatigue too. And you have really bad pooping problems. And I don't have to worry about that anymore. Thank God. But I signed up March 28th. I became an emerald May 10th. And then I became a diamond July 7th. So I'm like a huge numbers person. I remember those dates. They're really important. But yeah, so that's kind of my little story in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thank you, Caitlin. You've got this fun energy. All of you girls do. I'm super excited to hear you guys talk a little bit more. So, okay, Cassidy, back to you. So, I don't know, do you want me to ask you these questions? Do you just want to start talking? How do you want to do this?
I can just start talking. I'm usually pretty good about that.
Okay, so I'll kind of clue everybody in. I had Cassidy kind of chat a little bit about like having people interested in coaching, and I know she'll probably talk about like them signing, correct? Yeah? Am I correct on this? Okay. Having people start as a discount coach initially, and then hopefully talk a little bit about what she says in those. And then also advice on handling the "it's too expensive" comment. So go for it.
Okay. So I'm usually really scatterbrained. So Megan or anyone, just tell me if I'm getting way off track because I do it sometimes. So I'm going to start with just kind of talking. Oh, what's up? Oh, I thought you were saying something, Megan. Sorry. I'm so new to this whole Zoom thing. So I'm going to start with like how I personally got a few of the discount coaches signed up. So I started with not even close friends, because my close friends, I'm going to be really honest, they're just not interested. Like they are, like the girls I work with at the salon, they are at McDonald's every day. They are at Chinese. They do their own thing. They think what I do is silly. So I broadened. I got way broad, and I went to people that I have not spoken to in years, like in a long time. And a few of them did just have babies, which helped me because I used Megan's advice and kind of found something that we had in common and reached out that way. Because like I said, that mommyhood was kind of why I got started in the beginning, needing that bigger, and faster, like bigger reason, something to be a part of.
What was your one? Oh, you said your part.
And something that I don't have to be at the gym for an hour. Okay. I can do this while my son is sleeping. He's sleeping right now. I can still do what I love in the meantime. So that's kind of how I just broadened my horizon, found people that had similar interests as me. And then when we got talking about the energy and how I was getting up at 4:30 to pump, taking care of my child all day long. I work full time plus some. I work Saturdays. we have a lot going on constantly. So they were kind of worried about the price, of course, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But to get them signed up, once I had them kind of under my belt, then I just started talking about the discount. So, and most of my girls started out not wanting to coach. Like they weren't interested at all in coaching. They just wanted that discount. And I'm like, girlfriend, why wouldn't you? Get that discount. Don't pay full price. I'm a bargain shopper, so don't pay full price for anything if you can get the discount. That was my first question to Megan was, do you sign up people for the discount? And she said, yes, absolutely. So then once I kind of got them just wanting that discount, they were worried about that $15 charge a month. And the way I kind of put that was that $15, that is going to hold you accountable. So just being a customer, and I could be totally wrong, I don't know tons and tons of stuff about like how long they can postpone, if they can cancel, whatever. I know that you can cancel at any time, but as far as how many months you can postpone, I think it's 3 at a time or something. Okay. So I basically just said, you can postpone, you can return, you can do whatever you want to do, but if you have to pay that $15 a month, aren't you going to do it? Aren't you going to continue to do it? You're not going to give up, because that's going to come out of your account whether or not you want it to or not. So they show up, and that $15 is saving them, what, $30 on their Shakeology or something crazy. It's like $97 a month with that discount. And then the Energize. So they were like, of course, I'm saving tons of money on top of it, and that $15 is going to keep me showing up every single month, because it doesn't make it so easy for me to quit. That is one more thing that I have committed to. So I think signing up people for discount coaches is fairly simple. To be honest, I have a hard time signing up customers, which I don't know if it's a big deal if you sign up customers or not. I just kind of like sign everyone up as a coach, because I'm like, girlfriend, what is it, like 25%? Absolutely. So if they're not buying the accountability, if they are like, no, thank you. Sorry, I'm a hand talker. I can't do that on video. Goodness, I need to like sit on my hands. Okay. So if they don't want to do it, they're scared of that commitment. They're scared of being held accountable. I don't know why, but whatever. Then I tell them, if you find 2 people, 2 friends, mom, sister-in-law, husband, I don't know, that would help pay for your shakes every single month. So then first you were worried about the initial cost. You don't have to coach. You can put them in my groups, because as all of you guys know, having those people under them, they help your business and they help you. But then it's so fun, because then your community just keeps growing and growing and growing, right? And that's what we want. And so then we can be like Megan and Paige and Courtney and all these people that inspired us for so many months. So I just kind of tell them, if you can find 2 people, or even 1 person, hell, I don't care how many people you find, you can help them. You can reap the benefit of their commission off of it. And I don't try to like make it some big like money maker, like, oh my gosh, you have to sign people up to make money. No, I say it very genuine, like just very in a nice way, I guess. I don't know how to word it properly. But you can help them, and you're who they see every day. They don't see me every day. Your mom, if she's who you want to help her, but put her in my groups. You don't have to post your body. You don't have to post all those things if you're not comfortable. But the funny part is that every person I've signed up as a discount coach, now, what am I, July 16th, so I'm like 8-9 weeks in, 3 people are like, okay, girl, I want to be in the next peak to coaching, because now they're getting interested. They're seeing how easy it is for people to want to join you once they see you doing it. And like Megan just kind of mentioned, I'm still super new. So people still don't know what the hell I'm doing. They're like, okay, this girl all of a sudden woke up one day and's like using her Instagram stories like it's her job. Yeah, okay, so it was kind of out of the blue that I'm like, oh, look at me with I even got like this little tripod for my phone. Like I'm like legit now, right? No, they don't know what I'm doing. They're still learning every single day. And each day I get someone else commenting, oh my gosh, girl, you've literally been here every single day. What are you doing? How are you getting these results so quickly? So my other girls, discount coaches, they're seeing that same thing as they keep showing up. Now people are starting to ask them questions. And when they come to me saying, hey, my friend wants to sign up, I'm like, girl, you sign them up. I don't need to sign them up. Let's build this company or this community together. Let's make this all bigger, because I'm not here to, of course, we're all here to hopefully financially one day be at that amazing, amazing spot. But right now, I want to help people. And if the finances come after that, then that's amazing. But my number one goal is 1, to get people started, and then 2, help them help others. So yeah, sorry, tangent. Okay, back to this. So that's how I get them to join. I basically just talk about the discount, talk about all the things they can reap from it, having them hold themselves accountable by that $15.95 charge every single month. And then, yeah, letting them know that if they get a couple people, their shakes are paid for. So then that initial startup cost, it helps them. And it gets them inspired. It makes them want to stick to it, knowing that they could potentially find 2 people or 3 people to pay for their shakes. They're like, oh girl, that's a game changer. I'm gonna find 2 people, because none of us want to spend money, right? Like, everyone wants something for free always. So that's how you do it. You find those people. And that was another, when I first signed up, like, to be honest, I didn't think I had time to coach. I'm like, I'm a brand new mom. I work 40, I don't even know how many hours I work. And then my phone, I work my own business. So I am my own salon business. My phone goes off nonstop. I don't get to unplug. I am plugged in 24/7. And I was endlessly scrolling on Facebook, because when I'm not working with a client on the phone, I was just wasting time. So I wanted to use my time more wisely, but I lost my train of thought. Shit, it's mom brain. Like, it's so bad, guys. If you guys have kids, like, you know my pain. Oh, that's what I was saying. So that's initially why once I got coaching, I'm like, well, shit, I'll find a couple girls. I'll help them. This will be great. Well, then I caught on fire. I was like, oh, I love it. I want to do this all the time. I want to be the the Megan and the Courtneys and the Paiges and all these, Ashley Molstead, like, they're so, Bonnie Engel, they're inspiring. Like, watching those women, those people inspire me. So yeah, I kind of started just thinking this would be some, like, super slow gig, like maybe in a year or so I'd, like, hit Emerald, or I don't know, find someone to do it with me. But I think just showing up every day, it really helps. So like I said, I talk a lot. So if I'm getting way off topic, so the too expensive, how I have handled that very nicely and not too cold, because I'm a little blunt. I'm going to be honest. When someone, like, feeds me 17 excuses and I have a suggestion or a problem solving, like, solution to those excuses, I have troubles, like, holding it back, because I'm like, oh, well, that's how you fix that. That's how you fix that. And people don't want to hear the truth, because they typically can't handle it. So I'm going to use a coworker as an example, because she is pretty unhealthy. I'm going to be very honest. But she tells me she cannot afford it. So I looked at her life. I kind of took everything I noticed just on the day-to-day basis. And people in general purchase sodas, candy bars. They go to lunch. Like, the girls, some people, I see them go out to lunch every single day. And lunches are not cheap. Lunches are anywhere from like $10 to $12. I don't go out to lunch. I have not been out to lunch. I just don't like it. I don't know. I like my meals, like, planned out, and you just always eat too much in the middle of the day. Am I right? Like, no, I like to feel refreshed and light all day long, and I'm kind of a nighttime snacker, so that's when I have to keep myself in check. So I kind of, when someone tells me that, I ask them to look at their life. What are they purchasing at the grocery store? Are you going to the grocery store with a list? Are you just going there because you go to Hy-Vee or Aldi's, and what do? We grab everything that looks good to us, right? Because one, we typically go when we're hungry, which is not a good idea. But I just kind of explained that the Shakeology, one, is a meal replacement. So that right there, you're spending triple that at lunch every once in a while. And then if you go sit down somewhere, you also have to tip. And so you're looking at maybe 15, 16 bucks by the time you leave a restaurant. And I know where I live, they're expensive. And especially in Jeff City, you guys have so many delicious options. I actually lived there for 2 years. I don't know how many of you are from that area. I love that town. I love everything about it. But so I asked them about their habits, their lunch habits, their snacking habits, their cravings that they're trying to kick, because having that shake and having the meal plans that we give out for them, or your coach or whoever like is helping them out every month, having that list, you stick to your list. And even if you spend what is Shakeology? $3.80 a day? Is that right? Like less than $4 if you're a discount coach. So 4 times 7, $28. $28 a week. That's it. That's it. $28 a week. That's like, we literally like blow that in the wind. I feel like even me not going out to lunch, I still feel like I waste $28 a week on just stupid stuff. But I also think that I can justify that shake 100% because it's just worth it. So when I put it that way, they're like, oh yeah, you're right. If I do go to the store with a list, I have a plan. I didn't even have to make the plan. The plan was literally given to me on Facebook. I'm already on Facebook. I don't have to print it off. I don't have to plan what I'm having. The recipes are there. We feed it to you with a spoon. Like literally spoon feed you. And they love that. People love to not have to put a lot of effort into it. So once they see that like the cravings will be gone, you won't need that nighttime, I don't know what people, ice cream or candy bars or chips or any of those things add up quick. I mean, super quick. Like a bag of chips is like what, $4 or something? I do have to buy those because if you have a husband, my husband likes junk food sometimes. So he gets like 1 or 2 things a week that he's like, ooh, you should pick this up, which willpower has to be real in this house. But that is, the main things. I think I just kind of make them notice what they're doing and then show them where they can improve and where the tools are right there for them to improve. And if they're not willing to, if they're like, oh no, I have to have that Starbucks every day. I have to have that Diet Coke from the Casey's. I can't meal prep because I don't have time. Honey, you've got time. You are choosing not to have time. And I think at that point, it just might not be the right fit for them right now. So then I just kind of like politely say, whenever you're ready to commit to those goals, I'm going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. Just like reassure them that we're not leaving. And if it's a month that they want, if it's 2 months that they want, because they need to save their money or they need those weeks of saving that $28 at the store or whatever it may be, tell them in 6 weeks or when they get paid on the 1st of every month, we'll be back. I will message you again. You'll see my next boot camp run. And then I message them again. And sometimes they have the same excuse. And sometimes they're like, okay, all right, well, I'm just going to do it. And I say, that's great. And if you hate it, which you won't, but if you do, there's a full refund. You're not committed to anything, nothing at all. So that also, I think that like lets people like take the leap when they know they can come, and they step out of their comfort zone, but they know they can come right back in their bubble if they get too overwhelmed by it. Because I'll be really honest with you guys, I actually signed up to coach, I think it was 2.5 years ago. I sent my stuff back 7 days later. Whoops. It was just not the right fit for me at the time. The coach I signed up with wasn't the right fit. The timing wasn't right. And now 2.5 years later, I'm doing it. Like I'm doing it and I'm loving it. So I just think that everyone deserves that, that time. Like let them, you can't pick the right time for them. They have to want it. They have to want to do it. And if they don't want to do it right now, they're not going to. And there's nothing we can say that can change that. But in 8 weeks, when they see you finish another program, that could be the right time. So I just don't want to give up on those people. Because I know that had Megan not been so consistent, I would have never joined. Like if I seen her on here like once a week doing a couple workouts, to be honest, Shift Shop. When I watched you do Shift Shop, that was when I was like, damn, I really have got to do this. So if I hadn't seen the variety of programs, watching someone do the same thing over and over again, that's not my cup of tea. I don't want to see that. I would get bored doing that, especially with at-home workouts. So sorry, not topic at all, but I get on a roll because I get so excited and I can't stop. And another thing. I don't know if anyone else is like me. I think I need dessert every single night. So I deserve dessert one way or another, whether or not it is, I don't know, whatever it is. Even if it's fruity gum. Like, that's what I've started to go to now, like these crazy sugar-free gums, because I think I need something sweet. Shakeology is literally dessert in a cup. You can make fudge. You can make cakes. You can make all these weird, delicious things. So that's another money saver, because I can't tell you how many times in 8 weeks I almost got Dairy Queen. I almost did it. And what I did is I said, Dylan, keep driving. I'm going to have a Shakeology when I get home. And I did. I actually kind of cheat a little bit, because some nights I really want that ice cream. That malt mix, I actually started putting like a tablespoon of it in my chocolate Shakeology. So it's like I'm getting a chocolate malt, but I'm only having like 30 calories of the malt mix. But there's so many things that you can do with it. So that's another way that I think I'd save money, or that I do save money, because I'm not going and getting dessert anymore. I'm staying home, having my shake, even if it's 2 scoops a day. To me, that is better than, I've already got the bag. Like, I already have it. I've already purchased it. I'm not going out and spending $4 more on a cup of ice cream that's going to make me feel like crap for like 17 hours. So, I basically just ask people to reevaluate their life.
I love that. And it's so funny you brought that up, the Dairy Queen, today, because I almost convinced myself that I needed Smoothie King today. And I was like, Meg, you have got fruit and you've got Shakeology at home. Go home. Like, come on. So, okay. So next person I want to hear from is Morgan. So Morgan, are you okay with that, doing that also, or do you want me to ask you the questions?
No, I have my questions. I wrote them down. I also get kind of into it. So I was like, I'm going to write these down because I'm going to forget. So I wrote myself a couple of notes. But first and foremost, I just wanted to start off by being really real with y'all, because I know it was a struggle for a lot of people in August, but it was a struggle for me, and it has been really hard. And I had actually 2 coaches become inactive, and it was just really frustrating, and I'm just wondering what I'm doing wrong. Now, they were discount coaches, so they just decided to stop doing Shakeology and everything. So I don't feel like it's a little bit different than just losing someone altogether, but still, it was really frustrating, really hard on my business. And for me, it's not all about the money. It's like you said, it's about helping people, and that's what I'm here to do. So even if some people drop off, I know that by showing up every day, I'm helping someone. Whether it's, I've had a lot of people, it's almost frustrating sometimes, message me and say, wow, you're so motivating. And then I'll try to talk to them about this program. And then they're like, oh no, I'm just watching. I just like watching you do it. And I'm like, come on, what is wrong? Like, you see it's working. Why don't you join? So I think I still am in the new phase of, I haven't had as many people just say yes. I have a lot of people saying not right now or maybe. So I'm hoping I can catch fire here in a couple months. But I just want to be really real and open, because being on a coach call like this where it's like, oh, she's got it all together, I don't. So I just wanted to say that first and foremost before getting started on my couple of questions. Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, one of the first questions that someone had asked was, what are your ways for getting more followers? Do you search hashtags, locations? Do you have friends tell friends randomly? What's kind of your process? And I started out personally from zero, like I said, and I started out with who I knew. Who did I know? I went way back to high school, to anyone I might have played some junior softball league with, anyone who I thought I might knew, I followed up with and connected with on Instagram if I could. And I know there's some people who aren't on Instagram, which is kind of shocking at this point, but who I need to connect with on Facebook. And that's kind of the next thing I want to get into is Facebook. I'm so invested in Instagram. That's been my main focus. But I started with 0, and now I'm at like 575 since April So I was pretty excited when I hit that 500 mark, and I'm hoping it can kind of keep climbing. Obviously, you have those unfollow people, which I'm not a fan of personally when people do that. I know that's part of the business and some people do it, but I don't like it when people do it to me, so I don't want to do it to other people. But also kind of the next thing I do is I look for not only people from high school, but people who I went to college with, even if I didn't know them personally. If I'm like, oh, they went to Southwest Baptist University, I'm going to try to connect with them because maybe they heard of me somewhere, or they'll just see that we have that connection. Or churches that I've gone to, whether it's my current church is pretty new, so they don't have that, but I know churches back where I went to school, there's a lot of people there who would probably, be familiar with my school, and so they would understand that connection and why I'd be connecting with them. So that's kind of where I start out. I also really like searching by location. I feel like hashtags is kind of hard because when you search by hashtags, if you're searching fitness hashtags, you're going to find people like us because they're trying to look for people who are looking for fitness, and a lot of times we're looking at each other instead of those people who are really in need. And that can be really frustrating. I know I was so frustrated when I first started. I'm like, why? I don't understand. I'm doing all these fitness hashtags. What's wrong? Okay, well, because there's how many other coaches or what other program you got going on doing the same thing. And so that is really frustrating, I know. So locations is big. So what I do with locations is I like to look at places that I would like to hang out at, places that I do hang out at, or places that I would like to visit, or places that I have visited, or if you're on vacation, are visiting currently. So those are some good ways, because if you're posting a picture that you're in Estes Park and you go to a restaurant in Estes Park, then people are going to go to your page and see that you were just there. So there's going to be that connection if they go and check out your profile after you kind of do your initial connection there. Whether it's, I like to do the rule where you kind of go out, check out their profile, and then you kind of like a couple of their pictures, comment, try to get some interaction, ask a question. And then I like to follow. I know I'm an over follower. And I follow anything that's living and breathing. And so I've recently tried to bring that down to people who I haven't even connected with at all. I'm like, okay, I probably shouldn't be following 400 people more than are following me. That doesn't really look good. So I've gone down and gone through and deleted some people or unfollowed people who I haven't connected with. But it was after some time of trying to create that interaction. It wasn't right away. Just that's how I personally do it. And so, yeah, but I would say hashtags are something I'm working on. It's a weakness of mine for sure. I'm trying to create more genuine hashtags that have to do with me and my life instead of fitness. And I'm still trying to figure out my niche. I would say I have a lot of different things going on. But you teachers, man, I feel like there's so many teachers that you could just connect with. And I am not a teacher, and that's really hard because I feel like all of my friends are teachers, and I'm like, what am I doing? No one even knows what my job is. So that's really frustrating. If I do anything about living in an apartment, I have realtors follow me. If I do anything about my job, I have people trying to recruit me in a job. So that's been frustrating altogether. So just keep at it. Try to find different personalized things about you and just play around with it. We're not going to know, the first try, you're not going to figure it out. Maybe if you do, please share your knowledge. But most of the time when you have things going on like that, you just got to play around with it and see what works. I am really tall. So that's been one I've been working on is, like tall girls, something or another, being 6'3". That's a pretty cool thing. All my tall girls out there, anyone? Yeah. So that's kind of what I have for the first question. Is there a chat? Hold on. Someone asking a question? I keep getting questions. Can I read this out loud? Is that weird? Yeah, I've had that too before. So that's why Ashley said, I keep getting coaches messaging me and it's like, not, I already have a team and they don't even look at my profile. Yeah, that's frustrating. And I think that's advice on how not to do it. Go check out a profile before you just follow and message someone. Make sure it's someone you're interested in. before doing that. So when I'm looking at a profile of someone I might be interested in pursuing, I look for someone I'd want to hang out with, someone who I'd want to be friends with, because it's a long journey. And who do you want in your groups? You want people who you want to hang out, just like we're all hanging out right now. You know, you want to connect with people on that level that it's like okay to hang out with, you know? I don't know. That's my opinion on that one. Or people who are seeking help. You can kind of tell sometimes when someone's seeking help or seeking something information-wise, or they're trying their own fitness thing and it's not, you know, there's different things going on. But I know there's a lot of It Works people out there, or just like the pills and all that stuff, and that could be really frustrating. So I don't follow any of those people back because I tried and it was just kind of frustrating to me because they would comment on all my stuff to me, but then they would just try to sell me their stuff. So I stopped. So my next question was, how do you talk with new friends that start following you without seeming like a cold invite? So kind of on the same page. But if someone follows you, I feel like there's two different situations. So if you follow someone and they follow you back, I think that's awesome because one, you know, I feel like that a lot of times we do see that. If you follow someone, most of the time, if they check out your profile, like, okay, they'll follow you back. And that's kind of why we do that. And we go out and we search and we follow people. So there's different kind of approaches. So when they do that, I like to build a relationship first. That's just who I am. I know some people are just, they'll go for it and just be like, hey, thanks for following, you know, go for it. But I like to try to build that connection. And I'll say, you know, like, hey, thanks for following me and my page. Look forward to connecting. And, you know, like I'll just try to build a relationship before hitting them with the details, or else I feel like they'll just unfollow me. That's just what I've experienced. And so a lot of times I'll follow them, make sure I will go intentionally to their stories if they're posting them and comment and interact on their stories. And I'll comment and interact on their comments. So I'm trying to make the relationship established before I even bring our programs into the picture at all. So that's kind of how I do that. Like I said, I'm not a fan of cold inviting. So, but if they followed you on your own, then they followed you for a reason. You know, they're interested in what you're doing. They are interested in what you have going on. If you had no connection whatsoever and they just started following you, that's awesome. That means your profile is appealing and that they want more information of what's going on. So I think then that's a good time to say, you know, like, hey, thanks for following along. Here's a little bit about me. Maybe not a ton spiel, just like a little elevator of what you got going on. And if you feel comfortable with them, with the conversation, go for it and mention, you know, your program. But if not, I like to still just keep the conversation going and keep the, I don't know where I was going with that. Just start the conversation and build the relationship. There it is. That's what I was looking for. So that's kind of what I do. Yeah, so that's kind of what I have. Hold on. I always get nervous, confused when it comes to figuring out how long to have a conversation before inviting, if that makes, yeah, that makes sense. I think everyone's different, and I struggle with this sometimes too, to be honest. I had a good friend of mine that I haven't been super close with for a while. And so it was hard for me. I've been just kind of reconnecting because I don't want to just come straight out and be like, hey, you need to do this. So I currently am in that right now. And I've been talking to her for about a week and I just brought it up. But that's because my schedule's been super busy, I think, and I haven't had time to just, you know, go back to her. So I really think it depends on the situation. And sometimes you can kind of get a vibe from them on how they respond to you, if they're interested at all, if they're not interested at all, or if they just have straight up excuses that you can crush, like Cassidy was saying. You know, you can be like, listen, that's not going to work. So just like with the, how much is it, or it's too expensive. I had posted this in the chat, but one of Paige's things she told me that's been amazing is that your only reason? Because most of the time it's not. I did that to one of my girls, and she went off and told me, she said, it's too expensive. And because I came back and said, is that the only reason? She came back and told me all of these reasons, says that no, it's not. I'm really, and told me all these issues she had. So sometimes you just have to push back a little bit and go with that. I don't know. That's what I got.
I love that. And I don't see that as pushing back. I see that as more of like just caring, you know,
Yeah.
like asking more questions and being like, you know, I'm going to hold you to this. And you said you were interested enough to learn about this. So I want to know more about what is the real problem here.
Yeah, I would say I relate a lot to what Cassidy said, is that all of the other things that you're eating, before I was like, oh my gosh, that is way too expensive. I remember my best friend started and I was like, girl, that is way too much money. What are you doing? You can't afford that. She's like, I'm going to try. And I thought she was crazy. And then I realized, oh, I'm getting chocolate bars all the time. I'm eating candy. I'm eating junk constantly. And so once I took that out, I'm actually saving money in the long run by eating healthy things. And it's my breakfast every day for my Shakeology.
Yeah. Awesome job. Awesome. Okay. Caitlin, if you want to finish us out, are you good with chatting or do you want me to ask you your questions?
I'm good with chatting. I'm going to make this quick. I got on tangents too, but dang it, I'm going to not be a squirrel brain tonight. So, okay. My topic is like finding the niche. I am also a hand talker, Cassidy, so I'm sorry. If you see this a lot, I'm sorry. Forgive me. But okay, finding people in your niche. So I search the hashtags. I honestly, like, I have my hashtags typed up in my notes, but I haven't put them in a while because, like, the whole algorithm thing, that stuff is so confusing to me. I cannot keep up with it. But I do have certain hashtags that I really like to just go search. I am a big makeup person, anything with like YouTubers, whatever. There's a lot of YouTube drama, so I'll go to like their Instagram pages and I'll like see who is commenting with the tea, and then because then I'm like, they're engaged with their followers. Like, yes, I'm gonna go to their page, check them out, that sort of thing. Same thing with like my favorite brands, whether they're like more indie brands, so they're more of like a tight niche of a family that they have their customers from, or if they're bigger, just kind of play with it. Usually the more bigger companies, they kind of have like followers, I don't know, kind of like trolls, I guess, but just creeping on the people that are commenting on the Instagram page's stuff and seeing if what they have to say is quality, if their page looks quality. And then also a huge thing that has been happening lately is that people that I know have been, they see that I show up every day. So like if they have somebody in their life, they automatically tell that person. And then the next thing I know, I have a friend request or I have a message from them because that person knows that I show up every day and they referred them to me. And so that's been really nice. Like Facebook is really hard for me because I don't get a ton out of it that I'm thinking. Like I don't get as much action, but people are watching for sure. Like I have a coworker at one of my schools. It's a dude, but like his wife found me because he was talking about it with her. And so like here she is signing up now. So like, you just never know who is watching and who is talking about you with somebody in a positive way. And then also friends that like my stuff, if I'll go to their friends page or whatever, whether it's Instagram or not, or people who are engaging on their posts, whether they have, I try to go after the people that have nothing to do with fitness or nothing to do with Beachbody because, I don't want to mess with anybody's people. I want to find my own. So I like to go to individual pages that chances are they are not following anybody else that, the people that we're following, so that I can get people who truly have no clue about this stuff so that I can be the one that helps them for everything. And I am a very much so curiosity marketing type of a person because I know that I am very internet savvy when it comes to that part because I'm like, I'm going to find out what that is. And I am going to figure out everything on my own first. And then the more personal questions I will ask, but I know not everybody's like that. And they're just going to Google, they're going to see that price, and then they're going to be like, they're going to be turned off because they don't understand the value of that. So I will not post anything about that on my page. I want them to come to me so that when they are interested, they have me to talk to, not Google, because they're not going to get that personal connection with Google. And then, let me see. I wrote this stuff down, but my writing is chicken scratch because I was writing so fast. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the niche. I really just try to find people that have no idea what that stuff would be, so that I'm the one that's truly helping them from the very beginning. And then interesting and coaching. So I'm kind of like Cassidy. I had a really hard time finding customers right away. I remember we were sitting at Dunn Brothers, and I was like, guys, like, I don't know how you get all these customers because I am finding only coaches. And I was like frustrated with myself because I didn't understand like the whole building the business thing. Like, I just was going at it how I thought I was supposed to because I'm a bargain shopper. Like, if I can get a discount, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to offer that to other people because in my mind, I'm like, why doesn't somebody want to save money? Like, it's crazy to me when people pick the customer option because I'm like, bitch, you must have all this money to throw around. Like, that must be nice. But, like, you know, whatever. So I just like to do it that way. I have 3 options that I offer to my people. I have it labeled 1, 2, 3. 1 is customer, and I kind of have a simple rundown of it. I think there's a screenshot of it on Spirit and Spunk. And then 2 is discount coach. 3 is business builder. And then I kind of run down at the bottom in a little paragraph and I say, you know, I would want all the options offered to me. So I do that to other people because I love a good discount, you know, let me know your thoughts. And then that way, ball is in their court. They're the one that is making that decision for themselves. I'm not cutting it short and kind of deciding for them because you never know with people. You really don't. Finding people interested too, like you never know. So I show up daily and I like to have a variety on my Instagram. I don't want to be that page that is just fitness because it doesn't work for me personally. When I am just fitness, I feel like people are turned off to that. So I like to have a variety of things that I talk about, that I share, something that I can give back to them that is not just fitness related, even though that is such a impactful thing for them. Like, a lot of my followers love the whole makeup thing, and they love that I get to give that to them. They love the advice. They interact with me so much on that stuff. So of course I'm going to interact with them on that, and that brings them back to my page some more. And a lot of the makeup people that love that, they end up talking to me at some point about the fitness side of things too, because you can be a girly girl and love fitness too. You don't have to be one or the other. And then I also start conversations with people, personal stuff, you know, and then kind of just, I don't know, making it personal, but also finding a way to talk about fitness. Like, I like to say something like, you know, thank you so much for following me, or thank you for all the love that you've given me on my last post. Like, it takes a lot of courage sometimes, and it's totally out of my comfort zone, but I appreciate it so much. And usually they always come back with, girl, you have no idea how inspiring it is to see you posting like that, you know, stuff like that. And so then I'm like, okay, they've already been watching, you know, they have some sort of interest, whether it's not right now, they will join at some point. Because think about it, most of us are probably not right now people, and then here we are now on this call. So you have to think about that. You have to give people time, because some people are not yes right away. Like, chances are, like Sammy Glonick said, you know, your skeptics are like your best ones pretty much, because once they go in, they're freaking in. So I just really recommend stuff like that. Keeping it cool, real, and personal with people. You know, I talk to people like they're my best friend. And I also really like to send the video conversations to people too. That way they don't feel like it's just a normal script. And whenever you send out your invite type message, even if it's just the thanks for following me or thanks for liking my posts, you can send that in a video message too. And that is gold, because it really doesn't take that long to send to somebody, especially a first message. I think that speaks volumes, because most people think that they're scripts anyway. So what better way than to prove them wrong and send them a personal message? So that's kind of what I have, and it really works for me, and I hope it works for you guys too. And good luck. We all have hard months. August was rough. Oh my gosh, I agree, Morgan. But you know what? September is going to be good, dang it.
I love it. You guys have the most fun energy, and I have enjoyed listening to you guys chat so much. So, anyways, tons of takeaways. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. And yes, I am recording this, and hopefully it will save and I'll be able to post it tomorrow. I didn't see any questions pop up, and we're getting pretty close to 9 o'clock. So y'all know that means my bedtime. But if you have any questions, I'm sure that these ladies would love to answer them. So you can either message them or ask in Spirit and Spunk, and we can get that going. Ashley, one question, the handles of people that spoke. Yes, Ashley, I will share, I'll tag them whenever I post the video. So if you have questions for them, you can ask them. So anyways, thank you guys very much for being on, and I will talk to you later. Have a good rest of your night.